So you got back from Oslo on Sunday, late Sunday. How did the trip go?
Okay, the trip went well,
Okay.
but I think like you say, the forces of the universe are kind of working against me. One of my kids got sick.
Mm.
Our flight back was delayed. We were already landing very late in the evening. All of a sudden, we were landing at 1 in the
Oh,
morning
oh.
with, one kid who had just been sick and was sore in his ear. And it was terrible. I mean, in all the unfortunate events, the lucky event was that here, Monday and Tuesday, Rome had a red alert on weather and
Yeah.
winds. So basically, schools have been closed Monday and Tuesday. So, despite then that, that requires organization on who's going to stay home with the kids and the stuff, at least they've had some time to recover both in tiredness and having been sick. But yeah, no, that's not been easy. I mean, fair enough, all of a sudden we came from 15 degrees here to +2 and even a bit of snow in Norway.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the good gear, but still the change
It's a
is
bit of a
quite,
shock, isn't it?
yeah. And for my kids who are always kind of on their kind of bronchi and lungs very weak, I probably, between the flight and everything else. Anyhow, the trip went well.
Good.
The surprise party ended up being a nice surprise party. So
Who was the surprise for?
um, Torsten's youngest sister, she organized a surprise party for her partner, husband, whatever,
Okay.
because he had turned 40 in September. So,
Okay.
this was a bit of a surprise because he is Swedish. She had first invited
Oh, yes.
all the Swedish friends.
Yeah.
Afterwards, she thought she could invite all of us, which in the end, it was nice because it was a nice way to have a family reunion combined with
Yeah.
with a surprise party. So in the end, it was good.
Good.
What's not good is that me and Torsten are still kind of on the edge, and even the past few days we've not been too well, and that is not easy.
Tell
That
me,
is
tell me what being on the edge means to you.
means that we're either kind of bickering or fighting or avoiding each other and pulling faces. I'll just give you an example because
Yeah.
what was it last night? No, what was it? Okay, we came back from Norway very late Sunday night. Well, already it was Monday morning. Thank God, because of this weather alert from work, we were authorized, people with kids, to telework.
Okay.
I'm fine. Okay, Monday is resolved. At least, I can stay at home, telework, and the kids can recover. But my day has been crazy. Like, instead of working my part-time, I worked until 5. I had not showered until then. Showered in, at 5:30 in the evening to start working again after the kids went to bed. So this is my state, right? Tiredness and everything, feeling bad for, fair enough, I was going to be teleworking, but I thought I could have 5 minutes for the kids, which I didn't. So this is where I was coming from. Then the schools were closed also on Tuesday. Also in view of, in line with what we discussed in the previous session, I said to Torsten, I need to go to work. And, in the end, he kind of agreed. I don't remember if he had a meeting at one point in time yesterday, but anyhow, he stayed at home until 9 o'clock-ish, until my dad could come and help out. And then at 12, the babysitter was coming. Now, fair enough, we managed to have the staffetta of, people coming in and out.
Yeah.
But for a start, it's always as if, he's making he's not saying it, or he's not behaving like that, but it's like, it's like a miracle he stayed at home until 9:30. Okay?
Yeah.
So fine. And, I've already mentioned to him previously that, it's as if my work is not important. Fine. So he stayed, my dad came, my babysitter came, everything fine. He came, what was it? Yesterday was today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
So what was it? Yesterday, then he came home, and I noticed at one point he was not well. And he even said, he lost it with the kids and stuff. And he said to me, I'm not doing good. I'm very tense. So I need a bit, I don't know if he said I need a bit of space, or I need a bit of gentleness, or whatever. So I said, okay, fine. Thanks for saying. And at least I'll try not to be bothering you and stuff. Indeed, yesterday he made an effort to clean the table, to do things that you would expect in a normal family where both work.
Yeah.
But he made an effort, and I even said, then I kind of bit my tongue, and I said, when kids in bed, we had done each different things, organizing, administration, whatever. He was on the sofa, I was on the sofa. I made the effort of going back in the living room. I sat down, and after a bit I said, thanks for whatever, all the things you did tonight. I noticed you did whatever. And he said, thanks for saying, the usual. I make the effort for thanking him. Okay. So already you could see that, he had made all of these things. He had done all of these things in the house, cleaning up after dinner, cleaning the table, whatever. But it's as if, he feels like he's being tested, right? That he says himself many times. So it's as if like he's doing things, but he's doing them because he knows he has to, because otherwise I'm going to be annoying him or whatever. But in any case, yesterday went okay. He said, he warned me that he was not doing great. He needed a bit of space. And I said, I'm going to leave you alone. I'm trying not to annoy you. He made the effort. I told him thank you. He said thanks, it's really appreciated. Then he even warned me that today he was going to be early in the office. I said okay, fine. Woke up early. He said he was not, well, he woke up early. He had not slept well, whatever. And we had managed to have an okay morning. The kids were finishing breakfast, and I sat down on purpose because it was very early compared to when we have to leave. I sat down on the sofa with my cup of coffee, and he did the same. And the kids were in a good mood. They were asking, Mom, what's that package? I explained it's a small table-y thing for the terrace, whatever. Okay, why is that? We're not going to be doing the works in the terrace. I said, no, my dad and I have decided not to do any more renovation work in the garden. We want to enjoy the garden the way it is. And we're just going to polish up. I know. And I said, especially now that, the garden is looking so nice with the grass that your dad planted. And he went, oh, I got a compliment. But he said it, halfway, whatever, which even the kids didn't understand because he said it in English, whatever. And I caught it halfway. And I just looked up at him and I said, what did you say? And he said, no, nothing. When I understood what he probably had said, I asked him, I said, why did you have to say that? Because, we were in a good mood. So fine, he got up and left. He got annoyed. Went to the bathroom. After 5 minutes, I went after him. And I said, are you still with me? Because I don't know if you're frozen.
Yes, no.
Okay, sorry. So I went after him and he goes... So basically he got annoyed because I went after him for a start. And then he got annoyed that I don't leave him alone. He goes, I've told you I need some space And it's not enough that you go like that, but also you have to come and you questioning after me. I'm like, Torstein, do you realize that, yesterday you told me you need space. I've tried to give you space. We wake up in the morning, we are in a good mood. I even made a compliment to you for something nice you've done. And you have to go and reply in that nasty way. He says, that's not what I meant. And only afterwards, well, he realized that, yeah, indeed, that's what he meant. Right?
No, I don't understand that. Did he mean it in a nasty way or no?
Yes and no.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
He probably wanted to hurt me, but like that. And I'm like, but Torsten, that comment didn't have a reason for being made, because I was not being nasty to you. I've not been nasty to you last night. And, it's just gratuito, as we say in Italian. You're just giving me a nasty compliment a nasty comment for nothing after I've given you a compliment.
So
on top of this, he got annoyed, like I said, because I went into the bathroom to kind of still continue poking at him. I'm like, I'm not poking at you. I'm trying to understand. To which I said, look, you need space. Fine, I'll leave you space. It's probably my misunderstanding. And I closed the door. But I'm really sorry. But I mean, Susanna, I'm really sorry and annoyed at having to go in circles all the time around this. But clearly he feels, like he is not doing anything right. Okay? That I understand. Clearly he feels like I'm always nagging at him and annoying him, and he doesn't feel good enough. But, I'm also tired of, don't get me wrong, but I feel tired of being in therapy when part of my issues are with him. It makes me want to cry because, then it's like you say, I don't need to go down the rabbit hole. I do realize that then I start going, oh, I'm going to leave you, I'm going to dump you, I know I don't have to, but he also does not want to find a solution with me, because talking, it's not a solution. Acting is not a solution. I mean, taking action and doing things that need doing, because, if we are behaving more or less 50-50 or talking about things, then things will be okay. If we were talking about our issues or, how we can improve, it wouldn't be a problem. Fighting is not the issue. And the therapy that I have told him many times to go and do, he doesn't want to do. Now, often when we are in situations like this morning, I'm thinking, I'm going to book an appointment with that famous therapist that followed us for the kids, just because she knows our family. And I'm going to basically discuss with her, the fact that I'm having issues with my husband and what should I do since he doesn't work. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I'm already doing therapy with Susanna and part of my sessions are on Torstein. Why would I even go on another therapist to still discuss Torstein when he does not have an interest in this? Now, I cannot force him, but I cannot continue going around in circles like this.
So what does that mean if you can't continue going around in circles like this? And you've said you've tried talking to him, you've tried encouraging him to take to have therapy, and he won't. He doesn't believe in it. Where do you go from here?
I don't know, Susanna. I really don't know.
Have you reached the point where it's you go or I'm leaving? We're done, because I can't take this anymore.
I've thought it many times. I do not want to leave the house for a start, because in terms of kids, I don't like to start reading legal issues and stuff, but I know that when you're married and have kids, the person who leaves the house is the one who, doesn't get custody of the kids.
Yes.
Now, whereas, in my always auto-flagellation mode, tend to think, oh, Torsten is such a better parent than me, I'm the one who's taking care of the kids most of the times.
Yes.
So I would not want to risk not having custody of the kids because he's pissing me off, to be honest. I've told him many times in a joking way, but he knows I mean it, that he needs to find himself a place in Cecchina where he works. Because like this, he's not contributing to anything and he's just adding me more stress.
Exactly.
I cannot put him out of the house. I would like to solve things in, I know Thorstein is the kind of person who gets motivated when he feels positive about things and when there is positive attitude. But the positive attitude in our house is when I continue doing things and don't complain. So I do not know how to get out of this.
I think the only thing to do is you have to tell him this. This has to be shared with him.
But I share him with him. We end up fighting. He doesn't take it. Susanna, he doesn't take it. He closes up and he gets up and he gets annoyed. I managed to ask my mother-in-law when she was visiting the last time. I thought, who cares? I'm going to ask her the question because, they're divorced. So, they don't talk about their mom and dad. They don't talk about what it was like when they were kids. No one knows. So I'm in between my mom, who always tells me, you need to ask your sisters-in-law and you need to ask your mother-in-law how it was. I'm like, Mom, they're not Italians. They already have a pattern of not talking. How am I going to start asking them private things when it's clear that they don't?
Would tell you.
I know. So, but I did dare in a moment.
Experience of what happened when young, which will not be the same as Thorstein's experience.
No, but Thorstein doesn't talk about it at all. But I dared ask my mother-in-law in a moment when it was just me and her. I kind of caught the moment and I asked her. And I asked her, can I ask what it was like when you and Annbjorn were together? Because I think he connected to the fact that Thorstein is working long hours and stuff like that. So I said, was Annbjorn helping you out when you had kids? And I felt bad asking, but at the same time I thought, I'm going to put all my kind of politeness in Norwegian and see what happens there, because I need to have an answer. And you know what she told me? She said, back then he was working on rotations. So he was 2 weeks on, 4 weeks off at home. Okay. But she's like, yeah, but you know what? I'm struggling to remember when he was at home the 4 weeks, whether he was, say, for example, having the dinner ready for all of us. She says, this I can't remember. But, no, it's not like he was helping out a lot, because, he comes from a countryside family and peasants and stuff. And she says, their mentality was still different. It was like the wife was doing it. I thought, oh my God, this is Italian. The wife was doing and the husband was doing other things.
Well, I know that they're two very different cultures, but between the men and the women, there are huge similarities.
Yeah, so basically, in short, she told me that back then, Annbjorn was not helping her out. She managed to say this without criticizing him, without any nastiness, the way only Norwegians can do.
Yeah.
But in short, I'm thinking, okay, so he was not helping out. And what is Thorstein doing? And, whereas I don't want to draw comparisons, it's the only thing I'm left with. It is really the only thing I'm left with.
You can't go on like this.
No,
I think
can't.
That would be fair to say. So there has to be some way to either get him to talk, and you may feel that it's beyond your ability, and it would be better to get him in some way to a professional.
He will not, Susanna. I feel trapped because I have to work for him.
I've got a suggestion.
Go.
This is not my area of expertise. I have done marriage counselling on a couple of occasions. But I'm not trained for it. So I can't help you. But maybe it would be an idea to go to a marriage counsellor, a marriage guidance counsellor who comes highly recommended, and have one appointment with them and say, this is what I'm up against. How do I get my husband here? Because we've got to the point where we aren't talking anymore. We are sniping and bickering. And when I pay him a compliment, he's sarcastic. You've understood, in our last session, you were able to understand how you are being loyal to your mother's, your cultural inheritance of the woman doing everything. Torsten's being equally loyal. And that is creating enormous difficulties, because as a modern day family in the 21st century, you cannot do everything. So no wonder you're feeling abused, and let the tears come, they're good.
I'm tired doing the work for him, you know.
I know you are, but you're also doing it for you. I know you are. I know how frustrating and how demoralizing it is. I know how abused you feel.
You know, it's just a small detail. I cannot get hung on everything, but he says I need to ask. Yesterday he stayed at home with the kids, and the kids are full of slime and they cough so much. I asked him, can you put the spray in their ears, because you know the other day they started having ear problems or whatever. Yesterday evening I asked the kids, have you got this, because the spray was there. I said, like, did you take your spray in your ears? No. You know, the one thing I ask, it's always like that, whether I ask or whether I don't ask. It's random whether it gets done or whether it doesn't get done. And then it's always me either being annoying because I'm just tired.
Of course you are. Of course you are. I have an ex-client who's a very good marriage counsel therapist, but she's Norwegian, but she speaks perfect English. And I'm wondering, I can't promise anything, I'm wondering if I can get her to have a quick session with you.
But Torsten will not accept counseling.
No, just you. Because I think the goal has to be, my feeling is the goal has to be how to get him to talk. You can't talk together because it doesn't work anymore. So we need to get him into a place where there's an objective professional there who can help you both by asking the right questions to get you to unwind. Because there's so much frustration and history with this between you that now I think you've both gone beyond it. You're not beyond it, but he is. And the more you do personal development work, the bigger the gap there will be between you.
I've even told him the other day, you know, I said, Torsten, a big number of my friends or, you know, good colleagues are having extramarital relationships. And I said, it's very sad for me to see. It's very sad for me to see, but you know, I would not like to get to that point. And he says he doesn't either, but I'm just like, you know, I'm getting tired of this.
Yes.
I really don't know what to do anymore.
You said that Torsten responds well if he feels good about himself. And that would certainly, I'd certainly agree with that from what you've brought back to the sessions after you have had talks. It can be occasionally very wise and very helpful. I don't know if you think it's worth another try where you mix the love and the motivation. And I know how tired you are, and I know how stressed you are. But I get the feeling that you don't understand how tired and stressed I am. because I, in effect, have a full-time job and another full-time job when I get home.
Did I tell you what he said to me when we talked about our situation and the fact that I'm working more than before? And, you know, he says to me, you know, if you're working 100% again, or, you know, if you're going to have to work late, then we need to find a person who helps us. It never goes back to, I need to make more effort to help out.
No, but that is the start of recognition. We need to find a person to help us.
But he always puts it like, it's me. Oh yeah, now you're working more. So it's like me, it's my problem, right? I'm creating the problem. It's never back to, he is working late hours and he is not available, and, you know.
Yeah. And that's frustrating.
And, you know, when I go down the rabbit hole, and I know I do, but I'm thinking, I should go back working 100% for a start. He needs to take responsibility for, I don't care, I'm going to start working at 7:30 in the morning and leave at 4 to go and pick up the kids. He's going to have to be responsible for driving the kids to school. And when he can't, well, that tough life, that's his problem, and he needs to let me know. But, you know, that puts me in a situation where I'm acting from nastiness because I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired.
Good. Well done for recognizing that you're acting from a motivation that is actually going to bring you more problems than solve.
No, I realize, and that's not how I want to. But you see, I'm here because we did try to work differently, and he didn't want it. We tried to share tasks. He got annoyed at the famous list of, I do this and you do that. He got annoyed.
Yeah.
He cannot work, you know. I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. It's like he can only do things if I'm not around. If I am around, he cannot do them.
So can you get out of the house more? Can you sign up for evening courses and just go and leave them?
I've tried a yoga class in a center that they've just opened near my place. They had a promotional monthly subscription for 29 euros.
Yeah.
It was a great class that I did. I'm like, you know, I'm going to have to try as many classes as I can during the first month so that, you know, I can see if it's something I could do. Plus they have Saturday and Sunday classes, plus twice a week that I can do in the evening. The one time I was going to go in the evening at 8 o'clock, which is not something I like to do, but I'm like, okay, fine. If sports only happens at 8 o'clock, I'll do it at 8 o'clock. Yeah. He knew I was going to go to do yoga. He came home at 8:15. Fine, he had the issue at work. Fine, that it's not like he did it on purpose. But you see, the month is going to be expiring and I've done one class. You know, there is no other way around, because either I have an obligation, in the sense, if I'm out with work, traveling, I'm out with work, I cannot be there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah. Even yesterday I was proud of myself because he called me. He said to me, where are you? It was 5 o'clock. I was leaving work, 4:45. I said to the kids I would come home at 3:30. I left at 4:45. Where are you? I'm like, I'm going home now. Oh, okay, that's good. I said, what's up? And he goes, I was checking if you were coming home or not, but that's good, because if you were coming late, I would try to come in early. He said, I'm kind of in between because I still have to work to do, but I was going to do it after the kids have gone to bed. And I said to him, so that means now that I'm going home, you're not coming home then? And he says, well, no, I wanted to hear with you. And I said, look, I know it might not be your preferred choice to work again after the kids have gone to bed. But I said, I think the kids need to see you. So I think it's best if you manage to come home early. And you know, he said, okay, fine, I'll come early. He came at 7:30. he had, I don't know. I mean, I understand he had someone coming into his office. He's a director. I mean, I understand it. I don't think he lies. I don't think, I can see it. I'm an assistant and I get blocked. I was late today because people kept coming into my office and I have urgencies. So I can totally understand how the business works and that you have to impose yourself. But even when you impose yourself, at times it's not possible. But, he came home at 7:30. And I was proud of myself for managing to say it to him. That at least, in my opinion, he needed to come home. What more can I do?
That's not the question, because you know that you're doing everything, I think.
Yeah. No, and I don't think I should be doing more. I'm already doing more than I should.
But if you do nothing now, if you do nothing more, what will happen?
What is that? What does that mean if I do nothing
You said,
more?
I don't think I should be doing more. So my question is, well, if you didn't do more than you're already doing, what would happen?
Nothing, because I'm already doing everything. I don't know.
Would things get better? Would they get worse?
It would be the same. It would just be that for me, it's not the way to be at home, because either when he is around, either he is tense because he knows he has to kind of respect what I think is in his head, my ideal of the things that need to get done, and therefore he is running against a certain thing. Oh, I have to clean the table, I have to do this, Adriana, otherwise Adriana is going to get annoyed and stuff. Or me, I'm going to get annoyed because he is just like sitting down or being tired when I am the same, but I'm still getting up and going.
Yes, but we know that you're two very different personalities, and you've got the good girl complex. You're uber responsible, which enables him and lets him be irresponsible. So it's not such a good thing, I think, for you to say, I get up and do things, because that's you're driven to do that, just as he's driven to not talk.
But then I need to tell him, X days you take the kids to school, X days you cook dinner. That's your responsibility.
How do you feel about that? Are you doing that out of nastiness? Or?
Yes. Well, I get it's like it's an out. You see?
Okay.
Because we had tried it and it didn't, we never got there. So now it's like I'm gonna be forcing you. I would almost have.
How much would it cost you to step back from stepping in when he doesn't step up?
How much would it cost to say that again, please?
I've deliberately played on words.
Yeah.
How much would it cost you to step back from stepping into doing things when he doesn't step up to do them and you've already asked him to do them? How much would it cost you? Because there may be something that we can come up with that you feel you can ask, and it's not out of nastiness, as you say.
I would manage. It wouldn't cost too much. But what I'm thinking is that the issue is that in many things, he doesn't know, or he doesn't realize that he needs to step in. I'll give you the example.
They're a classic case of he knew. The eardrops are a classic case that he knew.
Fine, and there I didn't do it.
You didn't do it, no.
No, but in the morning I said, since you're at home with the kids, can you give the spray?
Yeah,
okay.
I remember.
In the evening, I asked whether it was done, and the kids said no. Full stop. I didn't do it.
Okay.
But it's a fact. It was not done.
But other times he says he'll do things and he doesn't do them. You've agreed things, you do this, I'll do that, and they thought that they don't get done because he pulls a face or shows that he's exhausted and goes and sits down or picks a fight. So
and indeed, the other morning also I was good because, you know, he had cleared the table the night before and I left all the crumbs on the table.
good.
In the morning, I noticed I was boiling inside. I said, Torstein, I'm going to have to tell you this because otherwise I keep it all inside and it's not good for me. And I noticed that I'm in a bad mood. I said, when you clean the table, can you please remember to clean also the tablecloth or whatever we have eaten on because it was full of crumbs. I said, sorry, I'm telling you this, and I think you should be able to manage this comment without getting annoyed because, you know, that is the kind of small thing that I tell him, Torsten, you left the crumbs, and he would just take it bad. And he says, yeah, you're right. I just didn't see it. I had a look last night, but I didn't see that there were crumbs. I said, fine, okay, but that's, you know.
You can step back.
Yes, I can. I need to make an effort, but I can step back.
So how can we encourage you to take some small steps back just to try and diffuse this situation? Where is something that you think you could step back from? Could you say, I'm going to the yoga class tonight. I paid a month and I've only been once, so I'm going. Whether you're back or not, I'm going.
Whether you're back or not, I cannot say it. Well, in the sense, you know, I can say it, but he would know it's a fake, in the sense. I cannot leave he knows I will not leave the kids home alone.
Is there anyone in your condominio that you trust enough to say, Torsten's coming back in 15 minutes, can you just watch the kids? Or can I bring the kids down here?
I would have to be seen case by case, in the sense.
Okay.
Oh.
I know that they're young and it's not appropriate to leave them on their own, but I'm trying desperately to think of ways to get you to step back.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's going to do anything until you do.
Until I don't do things.
Yeah, until you do step back and you stop doing them. You stop picking up after him.
Okay, so basically the task is step back and don't do things.
Yeah.
As much as possible, right?
As much as possible.
Is that what it is?
Without getting overly frustrated, without chewing your liver.
Yeah.
Because that's no good at all. It is going to feel uncomfortable. Discomfort is okay. If you find yourself getting more stressed than you were before, then that's not good.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that does have to happen is you have to show him that you're serious. I think the good girl in you has enabled him, because he knows that he doesn't have to wait very long when your fuse will just explode and you will step in and do it. So, and I'm not saying he does it deliberately, but I think subconsciously he does play on that.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's not healthy for either of you. So that leaves you, the person, needing to step back.
Yes.
So I'm wondering how we can explore where you can step back and feel uncomfortable, but still I can do this. I'm not putting my children at risk, or I'm not doing it to annoy Torsten. I'm not doing it to be unkind or mean.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I know I have to.
Yeah.
Because we don't learn, some things we learn easily. Other things we learn when the motivation makes us feel good about it. Other things, though, we learn when we only learn when things become unbearable. And this is one of them. I suspect it is because ever since I've known you, we've had this constant conversations about this. So I think this is learning because it's unbearable. And I think it's unbearable for you both, and there's some learning for you both. One for you is to step back more, stop being so responsible, because I think subconsciously he knows it and he's playing off it. And it's unbearable for him. It's not nice to know that the woman that you've married constantly thinks you're not doing a good job, or is constantly saying you haven't done this. That is very difficult, particularly for a man.
Yeah.
Also, he's got this cultural backlog of his dad, who was un esempio pessimo.
Yes.
And then he works in an industry which is very maschilista. I know because my closest girlfriend was Statoil's youngest ever platform manager, and she's a girl.
Yeah, yeah.
She's 47 now, but you know, she was the youngest ever to be appointed to platform managers. So it was completely unheard of in Statoil's history.
Wow.
And she was promoted in her early 30s.
So while I try to step back, though,
Yes.
I should not. So what's my? I should not ask him to do things. But if he doesn't do things, or he doesn't even ask, okay, can I do anything, or is there anything to do? You see what I mean?
Yes, I would do it on things that, for me, this, I don't know about you, because although we've worked together for a few years, I don't know what would work for you. What would work for me would be to say, I'm going to yoga. I took out a month's subscription and I've only been once and I really want to go again. I'm going to go, and you give him 2 or 3 nights preavviso, and you say, I'm going to go then.
I can put it in the calendar for him, but you know.
Then tell him, Torsten, you know, I wanted to sign up for yoga and see how it was and cram as many lessons into this month as I could before I decided whether I was going to take a full membership or not. Well, I've only been once. I looked at the calendar the other day, or I was talking to Susanna, and I've only been once. And I really want to go again. So on Friday, I'm going to go. Can you make sure that you can be home then? Because my month is nearly up and I don't have any more chances to go.
Yeah.
That would be my easy route in, because it virtually involves only me, and it certainly stays away from, you do this and I'm really good at this, and if you haven't done it, I'll know, and there'll be an implied criticism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the last thing you want, because that is going to guarantee failure. You stay away from any implied criticism. I want to go. I haven't been able to go. We've had a really busy month. I'm going to go. I thought, you know, I'll give you time to organize yourself, but I'm going on Friday. Are you okay with that? Tell me now, and I'll change the date. But I really, really want to go. I think it would do me a lot of good, and it would be relaxing.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so you take responsibility for why you're doing it. You list the benefits that he will be able to appreciate. You give him time to say, no, that won't work for me. But if he says, if you say, well, when will it? Then, and he says, I'll get back to you. No, because you need to organize yourself. So can you tell me by tomorrow morning? I'm sorry to rush you. I'm sorry to chase you. But we are very bad at doing this. We tend to, because we're both really stressed, we're both really busy, and we forget. So I'm really sorry, but can I ask you to do it by tomorrow morning? Can you give me a yes or a no?
Yeah.
Because come hell or high water, I'm going. Once you say yes, I'm going, and nothing will stop me.
Yeah.
So there are big yeses. One, yes, to take responsibility for your feelings and your actions. Okay. Mm-hmm. Another big yes is explain the benefits that he will be able to understand and appreciate, because he would like those benefits too.
Okay.
The no is don't go anywhere near anything that would make him feel, oh, she's criticizing me again.
No.
So no coming home on time, no doing, cleaning the crumbs off the table. None of the usual reasons that starts you two bickering or him pulling faces.
Yeah.
So does that help you come up with some ideas? You don't have to do it when you go home. It's not, but it may be something that you need to think about to find examples of what you can do before you feel comfortable taking this action.
On the things that he would normally not do, even though he's been told many times, like say, can you think about dinner for tomorrow? I need to ask him, or
okay, stop there, because the fact that he has been told many times and he's not done it is telling you something. What's it telling you?
that I am doing it, and therefore, I don't know.
What's it telling you about him?
Doesn't want to do it?
Yeah,
doesn't care about it?
He doesn't want to, and he's not going to. So don't go there, because you know it doesn't work.
So no dinner making?
No dinner making. Something that's yours. Because you're fighting him in a point where you can't win, because he's got a core belief that he's not even aware of, and that is men don't do housework. Men have their wives to do that for them. And I suspect he would be horrified. And he will be horrified when he discovers it, because it is unbelievably, I can't think of the English word, but masculista.
He says, he says he's all for 50-50 in the house, but
yeah, but he's not, because the core belief is running him. But you can't go there, so don't do anything where there is this disconnect between his words and this core belief, which is very clear. He's following in the footsteps of his dad, and his dad was a terrible example.
But so basically I need to let him follow his dad's example.
You let him find it out in his own time, because he is not willing to go to a professional figure to get help. So he has to find it out in his own time. And what you're doing is you're making things a little bit uncomfortable for him. In the hope that something might rub off.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm not totally convinced of this. You can try it once. And then if he doesn't come home, because he might not, then where do you go from there? What's your contingency?
Like if I tell him I'm going to yoga and he's not coming home?
Yeah. If you try as an adult to say, I really want to go, you talk it through, very calm energy, in the energy that I've used. I really want to go because I'm a bit stressed at the moment, and I took out my monthly subscription and I've only managed to go once. So I really want to go before that subscription expires. So I was thinking about going on Friday to give you some time to organize yourself so that you can be home before I leave.
Yeah. No, the only thing I'm thinking is that now, apart from the long weekend here, 1st of November, it's going to be a no-go because he's traveling on Saturday night for work and coming back the day before I travel for work. So for now I'll try to go at this long weekend, in which I will tell him Friday we're taking the day off. I would like to go to the yoga.
So it's not, you're not his mum, so we're not taking the day off. How about we've got the day off.
We've got the day off now.
Okay, you're not his mum. You are not looking after him. You've got 2 sons, not 3. Okay, so be very careful of your language, because he's hypersensitive to any criticism, any insult to his masculinity. His role as the head of the household, the breadwinner. This is why we don't live in the present, we live our past, because all of these beliefs that are hidden, we call them core beliefs because they are core to us. They rule our lives. They play out every day in us, and they get us doing what we know is perverse, what we know is against our best interests. But until we dig them up and take a good look at them and decide what to do with them and what we want to replace them with, they govern our lives. We live our past.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely crazy. And it's horrifying when we begin to understand this. But this starts the real recovery, because we're not dealing with the symptoms. We're going right to the root and we're digging it up. And that is terrifying. It took me 30 years to get to my really core negative belief, because I couldn't have coped with it before, because my really central belief to me was I had no right to exist. That played out in every single area of my life. It stopped everything I wanted to do. It got me sabotaging in the most ridiculous, perverse ways. It left my friends open-mouthed. Just as I was going to come up from a promotion slam, I did something so stupid that the promotion ended. And I did that time and time again. I did it in relationships, everywhere, because I had no right to exist, let alone be successful. So believe me, I really know how deep and perverse these things are and how terrifying they are. And we cannot unearth them until we are ready. And he's obviously not ready, but maybe something you do can nudge him. And I realize what I'm asking you, but it's not just for you, for him, it's for you. You are essentially doing it for you, because the more you can improve your relationship with him, the happier you will be. You will be, not him. He will be happier, of course, but you're doing it for you, essentially.
Yeah.
It is the only way it works. It's the only thing that protects us from, I don't want to do this out of nastiness, which you quite rightly said.
Yeah, yeah.
But remember, you are not his mother. He is not your son. So no, we are doing this. How would it be if? How do you fancy doing this? How would it be if? I was thinking of going to yoga because I took out my monthly subscription. I've only been once and I paid all that money and I really want to go again. So I really want to see if yoga will help me de-stress after work and the boys and family.
Yeah, yeah.
Or de-stress after work.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to say that. I really want to see if yoga will help me de-stress. Everybody says it does. I want to see it for myself.
Yeah.
Because that's something I really want to do. I think it will help us all.
Yeah.
Okay. So the language is very clear. It's very inclusive. You're not his mum. You are his equal, and therefore as his equal and partner, you say, how about, what if we did this? I was thinking of doing that. Is that okay with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you really have to stick to it. You have to go. You have to break this chain. You have to step back and let him step up, because you've seen that he does when you're not there. So let him start getting used to the idea that he can do it when you're there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more you're away, the more he has to step up. He can do it, so let him do it. But let him do it in a way that doesn't make him feel small, because that's when his passive aggressive behavior starts.
Yeah. But so it's like I was saying the last time, for him to do things, I don't have to be there.
Yeah. So don't be there. Find ways to not be there. Okay.
For me, it's crazy.
I know, but you have to work to what you have to start changing things in the way that you know he works best, and he works best when you're not there. Then he steps up. So play on that. Play on his ability to step up when you're not there. Don't be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's not crazy. That's simply using what is available to you, and that will support you to have success. So you don't play to the other partner's weaknesses, you play to their strengths, and one of his strengths is that.
Okay. Yeah.
So be careful of your thinking around it. This really isn't crazy. You are trying to get you as a couple to play to his strengths. Make yourself dispensable, because at the moment you're indispensable, and that suits your good girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got two core beliefs that are polar opposites, and they're constantly clashing. You're aware of where your core belief comes from your mum, and it's turned you into a good girl. Don't play to your good girl. Step back, play to his strengths. Because you might think it's your strength, but it's actually become your weakness.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So I can see your face really thinking things through. I can see all the cogs in your brain whizzing.
Yeah, and I'm taking notes because it makes sense.
So you're playing against your weakness of the good girl, stepping in and doing everything. You're playing to his strengths, which is he steps up when you aren't there. And you find ways to play to his strengths. And then we'll look at what happens next week. You don't have to rush anything into anything. I would prefer that you take your time to work things through so that when you approach this subject with him, you are really comfortable and calm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you only have one chance to make it right. If you do it again, he's not going to play the game because he'll already know it's another tactic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not doing this to manipulate him. We're doing this to start you playing to his strengths, and to start getting you to step down from this good girl stance where it hasn't been done, I must do it. And you are doing it. You've proved to me this week. But you are still checking up on him. Boys, did you get your drops? Did you get your ear spray? And they told you no. So you're still doing it to a smaller degree.
So I should not even check.
You have to do it by degrees, but by degrees you will get to the point where you won't have to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not a problem for now. Okay. The problem for now is play to his strengths and find a way where you can do that, and keep it about you and the benefits for you, which he can recognize as having a benefit also for the family.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether he thinks it's all your fault or not. You know better. At that stage, it is an experiment, and you're the researcher, and you're just collecting information. And any researcher is happy with any information. They're never to judge it until they've got everything or all the information they need. You're just getting a single piece of the jigsaw puzzle of information.
Yeah.
So it's, wow, okay, this is how he reacted. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would you say your takeaways are from this session?
This this kind of two sides of the same coin, like trying to play with his strength and at the same time against my, the belief. Can't remember the words you used because I wrote it down on the notes.
Again, against your weakness.
Yeah, against my,
I mean, it's great to be responsible, but when it goes over so that you're doing things before someone asks you, that's then become a weakness. So it has become your weakness.
Yeah.
So you're using his strengths to play against your weakness.
Yeah. To play against.
So to just sort of dismantle your weakness, really. It's not even play against, it is to dismantle your weakness.
Yeah. So really this trying to grasp this, because it does make sense. I need to see it in action, and it's true. So I need to focus on stepping back as much as I can and not task, not remind, and try to do, like you said, list, go to the yoga or say something I'm gonna be doing and do it.
Find ways to get out of the house. If it's going to the cinema with a friend, there's a film that you really want to see and you know that he doesn't want to see, go to it. Get out of the house and get him to take over.
Yeah.
All right. An aperitif, a pizza. Get out of the house and leave him there with the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, he had this big meltdown in the summer where he wanted to come home. He wanted to be with kids. He hadn't seen the kids. So we know that he loves the boys.
Oh, yeah.
And he enjoys spending time with them. Let him do it. Go and see your mum one evening. Go and see your sister. Even if it's just for an hour, get out of the house.
Yeah.
Do something that makes you feel good about yourself, because then when you come home and into the house with a different energy.
Yeah, will do.
Okay, good. Well done.
Thank you, Susanna. Really helped.
Welcome, my love. I'll be thinking of you. I know that you will do your absolute best, and that's all you can ask yourself. So if it doesn't go quite as you planned, be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
All right. This is a really tough thing for you. You have my total admiration because I know what it takes to make this sort of a change.
Yeah.
Okay. So be kind to yourself. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I don't know if you had a chance to read the notes from the last session, but they're all there.
I did actually. All of a sudden last night, I don't know if it's because I hadn't gone to the note thing as much, or it's because I had understood that there would not be notes for this package. All of a sudden yesterday I found a lot of useful information, so I was reading left and right. I'm like, but Susanna has been writing so much to me, and I don't know why I didn't see it.
I completely forgot that there weren't meant to be notes for this package, but
I had understood so, and then I saw you sent me like the recordings, and I'm like, but I had understood we were not going to do.
We weren't. But don't worry, because actually I've decided that all the tips that I write down, have you noticed I've started writing tips instead of other things? I write tips because I've realized that in all of my mentoring work, there is an absolute goldmine of tips that I share with clients that I could put into a book or something, use in another way at a later date. So I'm trying to build myself a structure that I can keep going even when I'm having not well days or whatever, because I need to keep my work more on an even keel, and I need to be able to find ways to earn money when I'm not working.
Yeah.
I need to publish stuff, and all of my colleagues are saying you really need to get published now.
Okay.
So I am going to keep the tips, the notes going for you in that tip form.
Okay, very good.
All right, okay. I'm going to sign off now.
See you next.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, when I will look forward to knowing how you got on.
Thank
So
you so much.
are you feeling better?
A lot better. Thank you.
Good. Well done. All right.
Thank
Now,
you.
hug.
Big hugs. Thank
Bye.
you.